chasing some extra lock. There's a couple of ways you can obviously do this. The way I'm going to be doing is we're going to be removing the steering rack, roll control arms, the knuckles, and we're going to get them all modified because I want to keep this a low budget build. I'm not going any aftermarket parts except for some tie rod extenders. I haven't exactly decided what I'm going to be doing there yet, whether I just run a rack spacer or I get a high misalignment kit. I'm not sure how much longer I have to extend the tie rods, so I'll talk to a few people and hopefully that's going to help me make up my mind. Basically it's pretty easy to remove everything. We're going to take the wheel off, take the caliper off, we're going to undo the 2 bottom coilover bolts. That's going to set the knuckle free from the coilover. We're then going to undo the 2 joints to the bottom of the knuckle, one from the tie rod, one from the lower control arm. We're going to pull out the gudgeon pin, bang the nut to the top of the thread, and the way I always remove these is that you got to just hammer it a couple of times with the nut on top of the thread, so you're not going to damage the thread. Usually a couple of hits is good. You may need to hit it 100 times. If that fucking happens, pay someone else to fucking do it. Yeah, and then we're going to drop the rack. Rack's got 4 bolts holding it in. We're going to disconnect all the power steering lines that are attached that may get in the way. I'm not 100% sure, haven't done this in a while. And then yeah, we're going to, for the lower control arm, we want to undo it from the K-frame. We're going to drop the sway bar and the caster rods out of it, and that should be everything set free. And then they're all off to go get modified. So the rack's going to be pushed 25mm forward. It's just a pretty standard number that everyone seems to do, and it just seems to work. It stops the rack from over centering, and it also reduces steering bind, especially with the big lock setups. The knuckles, obviously just shortening the steering arm increases the lock. And just yeah, same with the low control arm, just increases track, and there's plenty of benefits that come with increased track. So I'm going to show you real quick what we're dealing with beforehand. Now, in my professional opinion, this is the wheel on full lock, and my professional opinion is that I've owned, I can't even remember how many Silvias I've owned, that doesn't look like a standard amount of lock. I believe they have a fair bit less than that, so I'll keep you updated when I start pulling it apart. That pretty much is what we're dealing with. Hopefully get a hell of a lot more out of it. Because these wheels are only 8.5 inches wide, I'm not going to worry about cutting the fronts out. I'm just going to hope like hell that it doesn't hit too much, but we'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it. At this point, you always want to leave the coilover attached to the knuckle. It's the very last thing you want to do, because otherwise knuckle's going to drop from the coilover, brake rotor's going to smash the ground, and then it's just going to be a bit more of a pain in the ass to pull everything off. I only know that because every other time I fucking do this, I do it exactly. shit a little bit with this lower control arm ball joint here. You know, sometimes you get a fucking shit ton one. Generally they are pretty shit when they're disc fogged out. I pretty much just made the decision then and there that I'm going to be replacing these. So yeah, I was just like, fuck it, just bang the thread out. Because to remove these roll center adjusters here, it's just a pin here, pop that off, and I'm just going to pop it in the vise and just hammer this fucking cunt out. Do you also want to do me another favour? Turn the GoPro off. Turn it off. Just tap the top button once. So it is absolutely pissing down with rain, as I'm sure you can probably hear. So we'll be doing absolutely no work on the cars today. So I'm going to take this opportunity to run around and pick up a few things, drop off a few things. First thing I'm doing is I've got the subframe, the knuckles and the control arms in the back, so we're going around to Trent's house first. The best thing about going to Trent's house is that he only lives 5 minutes down the road. Now, a point I do want to make is that you do not need these kind of mods to begin drifting. Like, you really don't need these. And if you do and are chasing a bit more lock, just get yourself some tie rod extenders and they will do for the time being. I've had very limited experience actually on the track. I seem to break things more than I actually do drive them. I did a crack night in a 180 and that had a misfire. It was getting hot, the handbrake didn't work, and it was from a single, so that was a complete write-off. The next day I did was in my S14 where I broke the box around lap 12 and I kept drifting it with first, second and fifth, and then to the point where the motor was just throwing out way too much oil from the front main seal. I had to call it quits, pull it down. There was a problem with the motor there. My next one was my S13. We did, I got to about an hour in, the turbo died at about 10 o'clock, the event started at 9, so got a little bit of time in. Went and bought an eBay turbo to get down to the next event, got that retuned, and that lasted about the whole day. I think there was an hour left before the day was going to shut down, so yeah, I was pretty happy with that, but the bottom end let go. So we were I was actually coming back into the pits with the bottom end knocking off its head, and as I was pulling into the pits to talk to the marshals, the fucking rod went right then and there and threw a rod at a marshal, so that was pretty funny. Ended up rushing around to get to the next event, which was I did another DE plus T. It's probably a bit of a dumb idea. That turbo went, the eBay turbo went the same time the motor went. And yeah, fucking, I got 9 laps before we dropped compression in 2 cylinders on that motor, so that was pretty much, that is my track drifting experience. However, I've been mucking around with cars since I was 14, I've been doing dumb shit in cars since I was 14, so I've got a bit of experience behind the wheel, and I felt that I was being limited by the lock that I had with the last S13, which again was just tie rod extenders, and that did have a fair bit of lock. So yeah, I just want to, while I've got the time up my sleeve, I want to go and get these mods done and just have it really set up. After we're done at Trent's house, we're going to pick up some new skid wheels. They're just rotor grids. They're 17s, so that's less unsprung mass on the wheels, which is good for a low powered car, just with the T28 and all. They've got tyres on them. They're pretty haggard, but they'll do the job. And then yeah, we're gonna eventually get some new tyres for them. I've heard Kenders are really good, so I'm really excited to try those out. I'm gonna get another 4 of them, and that should be set for about 12 tyres for Matsuri. Probably won't get through them all, but we'll see how we go. And then Westlakes, one of the local guys here is bringing them in, and I've heard really good things about the Westlakes, so yeah, I want to fucking give them a shot. I've got Achilles 123s on the SSRs at the moment, and the SSRs are, I mean, the Achilles are doing fine, but I'm not sure if they'll last the whole 2 days, if we get the whole 2 days. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. So just about at Trent's house now. So what was that? It's just about 4 minutes, not too bad. Just got back from Trent's house, picked up steering rack, knuckles, low control arms. Show around the rack and the knuckles a bit later, but I just want to show you real quick. What we have here is the lower control arm. Now, as you can see, it's been lengthened about 25 mil. He's welded in some plates underneath the bottom here. They are basically to strengthen it, and something he's tried out. He's never really done it before, so we don't know until we put them back on, is whether this this notching here is going to be in the right spot. So basically, when you get the lock sorted, your next point of hit, like the next point that's going to be limiting how much lock you get, is going to be the tie rod actually banging into the lower control arm, which is what's happening on my S14. So I do need to get my S14 notched as well. So we're going to put these on, and hopefully this is in the right spot. Even if it's not, probably just leave it and give a bit of feedback to Trent. It's a fucking awesome bloke, does an awesome job, quick turnaround time, plus he's really cute. Now, when I did this on my S14, I banged the old roll center, old fucking heap of shit out. Now, they came out with a hammer. This one I was going to do a before and after, or here's one I prepared earlier, and this one is just not budging. I was at it for like a good 10 minutes with a hammer. So we're going to be pressing this out with press. We're going to hopefully get that done tomorrow night, so we can press the old ones out and put in these new hard race roll center adjusters. Now, as you can see, when that goes in there, that'll sit roughly about there, that the roll center adjuster is actually much higher. Now therefore, it's basically going to keep your lower control arm at a better height, which is good for lowered cars. So again, it's just working in keeping all your suspension geometry with a lowered car on the angles they should be. Okay, so I don't have a lot of time today, so I'm going to be rushing through everything real quick and trying to get this done as quickly as possible. Thanks to Jake, got the roll centers in for me. We tried to press them out at a mate's place and that didn't work either, so gave them to Jake. He reckons he did it with a hammer, but I still think he's full of shit. He's actually just over there as well. Got the knuckles back from Trent. So basically all he's done is cut off, shorten the steering arm, as you can see just there. What he does is he also drops the mounting point for the steering arm, so that also helps with roll center correction, or bump steer with lowered cars. So instead of the point being up here, it's there. It's a good thing when you've got standard rack ends still. We've got some pinch weld here, just going to clean up a couple of the edges. With that, we have D-Speed, thanks to Nick and Farmer Andy for not giving me any discount on these items, but they're still really cute guys. So we've got two rack extenders here. This is what we're going to use to be basically extending the steering rack so that the tie rod and tie rod ends actually will meet the shortened knuckles. We've got our front cross member here, which has been modified. Not sure quite how to show you this, but basically it's been moved. Is that the right way? No. It's been moved 25mm forward so that it helps with over centering when you have your big lock setups. It's a lot tighter of a gap in there now, so that looks like it's going to be a lot of fun actually trying to put this back in and the rack back into it. And I got my first lot of steering wheels in, something I'm mucking around with. So this is actually not one I bought in, but this is the OMP wheel that I was running on my S14. I'm running one of my wheels on S14 now, so I thought I'd chuck this one on the SIL80, basically because the other one is fucking shit. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, so we got Jake. He's working on the car currently, doing everything for me. He's very good at it. I like just watching him work. And now we're going to show you how to make your rod longer. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to make the rod longer, because that's what the ladies want. Now, this is actually loose, so whoever did that up, good job. Really good job. Now also, this is how much Loctite you should be losing. Everybody needs to take real good note of this. Ready? Blue, low strength, medium strength, 1 dob. There you go, correct, Jake? You sight and see that that is the correct amount.
I'll not get involved into the arguments.
Yeah, because the internet's for fucking losers anyway. And what you do is you just twist it on. And you just keep twisting. And it's all about the twist. You've got to have the right wrist motion. Really just slide straight on. You can tell these are quality Chinese manufactured parts just by how smoothly the threads go together. And then they butt on real nice and pretty like that. And then I'm probably going to use I'm probably going to tighten it up properly. And that's it. Then you just jam your rod back into your pants, and then you just fucking wow the ladies. Real quick, no homo. Just got the rotary tool out, and as you can see, just neatened up all the edges around here. There's no sharp edges anymore, and now it's just going to be a nice, easier fit for all the pinch weld. And then we're also going to be running some along here, so that this part of the chassis rail does not wear a hole into the silicon joiner. And done. Nice and neatly pinch welded there. Gonna stop some rubbing issues just there. And the same with this. Not a perfect fit, but does the job. Same thing, there's gonna be no rubbing on the intercooler pipes or silicon joiners. Okay, so just got one side bolted up, and I'm pretty happy with that. You know, that looks fairly serious. That's a nice amount of lock for just some modified stock parts. Now, unfortunately, as you can see, right there, that is now our limiting factor. Now, Trent was pretty close with the notching. Does need to be a bit further back. So if we notched a bit further out here, we could just bend the actual rod end in a bit further. Obviously, this is with the wheel off and the other side not done. So when the wheels are on and the other side is together, we probably won't get this much lock, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. That's going to be enough to go backwards for sure. This is just one of those fucking days. So just about to pop this tie rod end back in and start having a look over everything, testing it all out, and it has popped out of its joints, so the nut just spins on the thread. Which means I can't finish this car off today, let alone drive it, let alone get it down to the shop to get a wheel alignment tomorrow. Fucking cars, eh? And now we're going to show you how to make your rod longer. Ladies, we're doing this one for you. Fucking so pissed about this. It sucks. Why is this so hard? Shut up, Jake. Can you turn around?
Turn around?
Yeah, turn around. Nah, it's alright.